I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man?
Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store, the movies, and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. You know, here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, you know, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna. But I ain't.
That white guy is definitely not getting promoted anytime soon. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and we have a plethora of absolutely mind-boggling news to get into, as of course the situation has turned for the worse. Not just here domestically inside of the United States, but also in our airspace, as there are a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, and UFOs, along with, of course, quote, controlled releases. Yeah, there's a lot of bull crap the government is selling you. I ain't buying it, and that's why we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast, we hope is a skit, but with how crazy our entire timeline is, who in the world knows? To be real with you, I don't know who did this, but this is absolutely hilarious. If you know the creators of hopefully a skit, please let me know down in the description below so we could attribute their YouTube channel, as this little clip that we played at the beginning of this broadcast definitely made me cackle like Kamala. And hey, if Talcum X could do it, this guy could do it too. But very oddly, we don't see a lot of people of color claiming that they're white, huh? I wonder why that is. This, as the suburbs have been very dramatically hit, especially by the opioid epidemic engineered by the government and Big Pharma, which we're still continuing to see the ramifications of, especially when it comes to all the fentanyl overdoses. But if it's not suburban druggies to look out for, it's definitely suburban train derailments, which have been happening a lot, the latest of which has happened in Texas. This, as there is still a lot of questions about what actually happened in East Palestine, Ohio, where the government officials are being very hush-hush on what. And now what we are finding out is to be toxic chemicals that have been released to the environment in a, quote, controlled release. With now the government authorities telling you, yes, the air is safe to breathe. Now where have I heard that before? What has happened? Oh yeah, they lie all the time about that. Just like they did on 9/11, just like they did with depleted uranium, just like they did with the radioactive and chemical experimentation on unsuspecting populations of major cities before. And when it comes to the U.S. government releasing hazardous chemicals to the general public, a lot of the times they do this deliberately, all in the name of, quote, experimentation, and then decades and decades later about it, we find out that, yeah, that there actually is some really sinister things related to what the government was doing. So now with the government telling everyone, trust us, no, absolutely not. No, thank you. This is the same people that sends human beings into solitary confinement for their political beliefs, while letting their cities run rampant with crime, to the point where in Washington, D.C. right now, officials at George Washington University are warning their students that they need to stop wearing pricey jackets because they are making themselves a target for thieves around the college. Yes, you heard that correctly. This, as crime, especially robberies in Washington, D.C., have dramatically increased, and now university officials are literally telling their students to dress down because it's too dangerous to look nice. That's the type of society we're paying some of the highest tax rates to live in. This, as inflation, according to the official numbers, has risen 0.5%. But as you know from being at the supermarket, that number probably is a lot higher. This, as the inflation numbers, even by the official accounts, have risen more than it was expected to go up. And with the purchasing power of the dollar and your currency going going down that you worked so hard to earn, the European Central Bank has some jokes for you guys and some poems, as they just tweeted, "Roses are red, violets are blue. We will stay the course and return inflation to 2. Nice to know that they have a sense of humor as they're literally screwing the people of Europe over and robbing them of their wealth and money. PyQ had a response with his own poem saying, "Roses are red, chocolates are brown, central banks are useless, they can't get inflation down." Federico Rivi had another version of this saying, "Roses are red, violets are blue, inflation is theft, you are doomed." There's another great depiction here of exactly what the European Central Bank is really trying to tell you. This as our ever online reality that's being interwoven, especially now with central bank digital currency trials, essentially is having us return to being peasants on the farm who actually statistically had it a little bit better than we do right now in some circumstances. And that's why during these very difficult times, as your money becomes worthless, it's important to invest in one of the most important things that you can invest in, and that of course is knowledge and information, which we strive to collect for you and highlight to you on LukeUnfiltered.com. This is our own website where we get to say and do what we want, but more importantly, host content that we cannot host on any other platform other than our own. We get to say and do whatever we want here, and we will have a special video ready for you right after this one with some very eye-opening, important perspectives that we will only be able to share there. You not only get a new video report almost every single day, but also you get to ask me questions directly, which I will answer as I am continuing to answer the plethora of incredible questions by many of our members on our AMA through our forum, where you get to meet the huge, incredible number of individuals, and we have a lot of incredible members, a lot of them that know more than the average person out there, lots of really illuminating conversations, great people, great solutions, all on LukeUncensored.com. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now and become a member of our not so quasi secretive, really kind of public collective on LukeUnfiltered.com, and I will see you there right after this broadcast. As of course, we are still not done here, as international relations between China, the United States, and Russia haven't really been that great as of late, especially with the major interference of balloons, which now the Chinese government is accusing the United States of flying over China allegedly 10 times, this after a major Chinese spy balloon flew over the United States and was shot down. Now, could these balloons be a bigger distraction, especially with the latest objects that were just shut down over North America, to larger saber rattling that's happening between China and potentially even Russia? This as Romania is, quote, detecting suspicious weather balloons over its airspace. Russia has just deployed one of their nuclear-armed ships for the first time in 30 years, and the U.S. Embassy is telling American citizens in Russia that they should leave Russia immediately and, quote, exercise increased caution due to the risk of being wrongfully detained. Now, obviously, geopolitically, we are not in a very good situation. We're actually in a very dangerous situation that, of course, could escalate at any moment in time, and, of course, endanger all of human civilization. This is why some of the latest revelations, especially from the Pentagon, are a little bit confusing to say the least, as it looks like there are elements of the U.S. government that are nudging the American public towards believing that there are aliens. Why do they want us to believe this during these key critical times of national foreign policy upheaval? Well, that's a good question that I think a lot of people should be asking themselves, as the Pentagon just came out and officially said that there was no debris that have been recovered from the third down object over Alaska and Canada, leaving many people saying no debris. Why? What's going on here? This as U.S. Senator Marco Rubio has come out and said that there's been UFOs that have been routinely operating over restricted U.S. airspace. This as, of course, there's a lot of weird statements, there's a lot of rumors, there's a little bit of information released to the general public, and then absolute silence and no response from government officials that act like they're hiding a secret here. This as the U.S. government has now set up a new task force for aliens and UFOs. This as U.S. Senator John Kennedy, I think, had the best perspective here, as he even came out and talked about how the intelligence agencies have been stonewalling him from even finding out what's really going on here.
Well, Brian, if you are confused, you understand the situation perfectly. 10 days ago, we were led to believe that our skies are clear. And now, all of a sudden, we've got spy balloons and unidentified objects raining down on us like confetti. We have had one briefing by, I'll say, junior members of the Intelligence Committee. We're going to have another one today at 10 o'clock. I've listened to a lot of folks go on your show and others and talk about what's going on, but the truth is I don't think anybody except the members of the Intelligence Committee know jack. And that's kind of where we are, but the American people deserve to know what's going on.
Now, with everyone but the intelligence agencies not knowing jack of what's going on here, what does a former intelligence agency have when it comes to his understanding of the current situation? Well, former intelligence agent and now whistleblower Edward Snowden came out and said this, quote, "It's not aliens. I wish it were aliens, but it's not aliens. It's just the old engineered panic and attractive nuance ensuring national security reporters get assigned to investigate balloon bullcrap rather than budgets or bombings, a la Nord Stream. Quote, until next time." And when you kind of think about what Edward Snowden is talking about, especially with the latest bombshells that happened, with the information that came out pointing to the United States being responsible for the Nord Stream pipeline bomb, you think about how that story was derailed, along with, of course, all the other chemicals in Palestine, Ohio that the government officials are not even letting us know about. Obviously, it's fair to speculate that the government dangling little UFO aliens around your face right here could be a perfect distraction from any kind of accountability when it comes to these larger issues that actually do affect you, that there should be some responsibility for, but they won't because UFOs. That's personally what I think is going on here. What do you think is going on here? I personally agree with Edward Snowden. If you don't, I definitely want to hear your perspective down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys commenting and being a part of this independent media organization, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video coming your way right now on lukeuncensored.com. See you there.